Hey, what's happening, everybody? My name is Max Danger Derrat. Welcome to episode 6 of The Silver Lining for November 3rd, 2019. So it looks like I'm going to be doing this series bi-weekly for the time being. I just have too much work to do. So many health-related things I have to take care of. It's all good, though. Before I get started with the usual stuff, I just have to point out two things. First of all, the gameplay footage for this week was captured by yours truly. In case any of you play GTA 5 and are currently playing the new Alien Survival update this weekend, I present to you an easy way to cheese one of the maps you play on, which is called Grapeseed, I believe. Just follow what I do in the video, and if you do it correctly, you might be able to get to level 10 all on your own, like I did, if you so choose to do that, by the way. To anybody that says I'm less of a gamer for doing stuff like this, well, I'll start playing honorably once Rockstar makes it easier to get money in the game without having to buy their shark cards, capiche? Second thing I want to point out, November usually sucks. Unless your birthday is in November, there's no reason to like the month of November, in my opinion. Yeah, there's Remembrance Day, but that's not necessarily something you like. It's like a righteous responsibility that we carry as a race to remember our fallen heroes. Oh wait, and there's also Thanksgiving for the Americans and Black Friday. Okay, just humor me for a second, alright? November, it's an entire month that you have to go through between Halloween and the Christmas holidays. Nature is dying around you, it's getting colder, you have to hear November Rain on the radio 101 times before the month is over. I don't like November, okay? However, this might be the first time in my life where November doesn't suck for yours truly. I get to see Dr. Sleep in less than a week on November the 7th. For anybody who has been following me for the past couple of weeks, you know how much I am looking forward to Dr. Sleep. Also, I have my yearly vacation scheduled for next week, and I plan to spend it playing Death Stranding for all you beautiful people. Also, I get to see Tool on November the 12th. All in all, the next couple of weeks looks pretty badass for yours truly. I know this news has no bearing for a lot of you, but there are some of you who have been messaging me who genuinely care about my well-being. So I hope this information shall reassure you for the next little while. With all of that out of the way, let's get to the usual stuff. In case you're new to this series and not sure what it is all about, please refer to the description box below for a brief summary. If you have a news article or story that happened in the past week that you would like to see in a future episode, please send it to me in one of the following ways. 1. Send it to my email, maxderrat@yahoo.ca. 2. Send it to me in a tweet @maxderrat. Or 3. Leave it in a comment on this video. Alright, so let's do the usual thing, starting from a local level and then growing from there. Thanks to Philip Homolka, a regular contributor to this series, for sending in this story. Autism. Strangers help Abertillery girl celebrate birthday. So I'm sure most of us know that making friends or just socializing in general is something that is pretty difficult for people with autism. Not all, but a substantial amount. And what's especially disheartening is when you try to make friends at a young age. You don't know how to work with your quirks just yet as you try to make friends, and the kids you are trying to appeal to are primordially predisposed to ostracize what they don't understand. Such is the case for 5-year-old Remy Robbins. Remy was so upset when only 2 children turned up for her 5th birthday party that she asked her mother, "Where are all my friends?" Remy's parents were so upset for their daughter, they didn't know what to say or do. So, to use their own words, they sent out this message online in desperation. Quote, "This is an appeal to anybody who may have time free between now and 2:30 p.m. My daughter is having her 5th birthday party at the Eden Play Center today, but only one of her little friends has turned up." Wait, was it 1 or 2? Well, anyways. "My daughter is autistic, but she is a lovely little girl, and this is going to literally devastate her if nobody shows up. Please, if anybody has some free time and has a child around my daughter's age, would you be willing to help us make her party a day to remember?" Sometimes we like to lament the advent of social media and the negative impact it has on our lives. I certainly do this too. However, we need to remind ourselves just what a miracle technology and social media can be if we use it properly. This story is a perfect example. Within minutes, Remy's father's phone was buzzing and strangers were arriving at the play center's door. About 14 children and parents joined the party while a similar number, many with gifts and cards, dropped by to wish Remy happy birthday. And to top this miracle off, since the party, the family has also been contacted by the parents of other autistic children offering support and playdates. This story is perfect. I love it. As many of you know, like Remy, I am also on the autism spectrum. While I don't think I ever had to deal with a situation like Remy's, I can certainly empathize with her when it comes to feeling ostracized on account of having autism. It's such a terrible thing. It's so terrible that when I think about having children of my own one day, I hesitate because I don't want my child to have to experience what I experienced if they ended up having autism. However, it's stories like this that offer me this indescribable sense of calm. Maybe by the time I have children, the world will be a much more accepting place. God bless Remy's family and all the people who showed up. I really do love children, mostly because they love me, apparently. Every member of my family has always pointed out this, I don't know how else to describe it, magic effect I have on kids. Maybe it's because I'm really tall, I'm 6'4", and oftentimes when I'm out in public, kids will almost freeze up and stare at me in awe. When it comes to the kids in my family, they would do this too, but then they see I'm not intimidating, that I'm rather goofy, and then we play together and it's awesome. Though I love children, as I just said, I also just mentioned my previous hesitation to have children of my own. Though I am more inclined now to have my own children regardless, I've thought about what I would do if I didn't bear a son or daughter. I thought maybe I would take in kids that needed a home of their own, but I always wondered how that whole foster system worked and if I could make it work for myself and the kids. After reading this next article, I'm much more reassured about the idea. Sometimes it really does take a village. Thanks again to Philip for sending this in. So there's this ranch in Oklahoma called Pepper's Ranch. Check this out. It was the state's first foster care community set up only 10 years ago. Let me emphasize the word community. The whole point of the area is for foster care families to congregate and help each other out. There's housing, tutoring, sports programs, mental health programs, arts programs, everything a foster child could need to set up their lives for success. Here's a picture of the area. Look, wow. Look how beautiful that is. I would absolutely love to live there. I would feel much more at home there, knowing that I could actively help kids, especially when I consider the fact that many of these kids probably feel like outcasts and just want to feel wanted, right? I could help provide something like that. At the end of last year, Pepper's Ranch bought another 400 acres to build a second community, which it hopes can help support another 40 foster homes. By the way, there are also other organizations like this that are being built around the country, like Joy Meadows in Kansas, Oasis of Hope in North Carolina, Hope Meadows in Illinois. Oh, and in respect to Hope Meadows, that organization places foster families in neighborhoods with retirees who can serve as surrogate grandparents and provide additional support for busy families. See guys, people actually care. They really do. You just have to find them. They aren't immediately obvious, especially when all you see on the news and on the internet are people just at each other's throats all the damn time. But the people in these communities understand what life is really all about. They're too focused on what is important to give credence to the idiots of this world. So I gotta insert a humble brag here. I think I had a really good segue for that last story. Let's see if I can start a trend here. Okay. So if I have kids one day, I'll be very concerned if they have allergies. Handheld device can sniff your food and detect trace amounts of deadly allergens in just 30 seconds. Now, if you're focused on my crappy segue and not the technological miracle that this article is advertising, you're doing it wrong. Make better life decisions. Go home and rethink your life, as Obi-Wan said. Israeli scientists have developed the handheld AllerGuard device to detect trace amounts of allergens in a meal simply by analyzing food vapors, and it can identify the allergens in just 30 seconds. Before you eat, simply hold the AllerGuard device over the plate of food. AllerGuard's nanotechnology then absorbs the vapor molecules for detection. I love nanotech, man. This, guys, you have no idea how much this invention means to me. See, I don't think I ever told you guys this. I am deadly allergic to peanuts and nuts and have been all of my life. Because of this, most of the time when I go to restaurants, I never eat dessert. Even the desserts that don't have nuts in them, they always say there's a chance they have come in contact with other desserts that do. And also when it comes to store-bought desserts, I have to refrain from eating some of them because, like I said, some of them don't have nuts baked into them, but they are produced on equipment that makes desserts with nuts in them. But with this beautiful nanotech, I might have more options. Finally, I don't have to stick to homemade desserts and vanilla ice cream. I can eat chocolate fudge cake, different types of cheesecake, stuff with brownies in it. I mean, sure, I'll just be substituting potential anaphylaxis with potential diabetes, but in that vein, I'll be more like the average North American. So it's all good. I'm being facetious, obviously. Take care of yourself. Yada, yada, yada. All right, now, we need to get serious for a second here. No joke. This next story happened a couple of weeks ago. It's one that many people in the US are likely aware of, but maybe not elsewhere. Anyways, it's a story that is worth repeating because it goes back to what I said in regards to the first two stories. People do care. You just need to find them. Unfortunately, it seems that many of us tend to find these people that do care when we've reached the ends of our ropes, but we nonetheless find them. A student came to school with a shotgun. His coach disarmed him with a bear hug, and it was caught on video. Thanks very much to Shermanium for notifying me about this story. For those of you who haven't heard this story, I need to start off by making something clear. This kid who had a shotgun wasn't planning on shooting his other classmates. He was going to shoot himself in front of his classmates. Back in May of this year, Angel Granados Diaz, who was 18 at the time, brought the loaded shotgun to school during what authorities have described as a mental health crisis. One of the coaches at Angel's school, Keenan Lowe, was called to Angel's classroom to escort him to the counseling office. Keenan walked into the classroom when Angel wasn't there, but less than a minute later, Angel walked back in with a shotgun. Immediately upon seeing the gun, Lowe's instincts kicked in. He grabbed for the gun with two hands, then turned it away from everyone as he wrestled it away. As for what transpired after this, you can see it in this video that was released only 2 weeks ago. It's an absolutely powerful scene. Keenan just hugs the guy. When speaking about this moment, Keenan said the following, quote, "Then it was just me and that student. It was a real emotional time. I felt compassion for him. A lot of times, especially when you're young, you don't realize what you're doing until it's over." Keenan, you're damn right about that. I remember vividly what my life was like when I was 18 and 19 years old. Everything was just falling apart. I saw no way out of it. I remember being in a very desperate frame of mind. I didn't ever intend to do anything like what Angel intended to do, though, just letting you guys know. I just mean that my mind was clouded in darkness. I present to you this video because it puts on full display how much human beings instinctually value life. When it comes to moments of crisis like this one, our better nature comes forth. We are consumed with compassion. We are reminded of those moments in our lives where we desperately needed somebody. And a lot of the time, nobody was there during those moments. When we see somebody else going through something similar internally, we want to provide that service that wasn't provided to us. We know how powerful that outburst of compassion can be for somebody, and I think Keenan knew that too. Keenan, you're a hero, man. I will remember your actions and use them to sustain not only myself emotionally, but hopefully those who watch this video. Okay, that was a pretty heavy story, but an important story nonetheless. I would like to end this week's video by focusing on two stories, both of which feature a common interest held by many people who watch my channel, that being video games. Mr. Beast partners with more than 600 YouTubers, including PewDiePie and MKBHD, to plant 20 million trees. Fundraising effort is being organized by YouTube's favorite stunt philanthropist, Jimmy Mr. Beast Donaldson, who's known for giving away huge sums of money. Major YouTubers including Mark Rober, Rhett and Link, Marshmallow, iJustine, Mark Brownlee, The Slow-Mo Guys, Ninja, Simone Giertz, Jacksepticeye, Smarter Everyday, and more are all lending their channels to the cause. So even though I am a YouTuber who talks about video games, like many of these people do, I have to be honest, I haven't heard of most of them. I know who Jacksepticeye is, and I know Ninja from the whole switching over to Mixer from Twitch thing, but I just don't happen to watch a lot of these bigger channels. I like looking for those diamonds in the rough on YouTube. No, I'm not a hipster. I'll watch anything that's good. It doesn't matter how popular you are. And I'm sure these guys produce good stuff, I just haven't heard of them. Having said that, these guys seem to be doing something pretty honorable here. Climate change is a topic that is increasingly on people's minds right now, and this is thanks to the technology that we have, being able to disseminate information to people faster and faster. However, with these advances in technology, there seems to be a shift away from the methods we previously used to get information. A lot of these YouTubers have more influence than most traditional news stations or advocacy groups. I guess these YouTubers realized they could do something really important with that influence, so they chose this. The initiative started in May 2019 when Donaldson's fans on YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter suggested he plant 20 million trees to celebrate reaching 20 million subscribers. It's the type of challenge that Donaldson has built his YouTube career on, often partaking in grand-scale challenges and charitable acts that result in tens of millions of people watching his videos. Donaldson teamed up with the Arbor Day Foundation, one of the largest nonprofit conservation conservation organizations dedicated to planting and nurturing trees to launch the hashtag Team Trees Challenge. The Arbor Day Foundation is already in the middle of its own tree planting challenge with the goal of planting 100 million trees by 2022. Okay, you know what? I'm going to subscribe to this guy right now. I really want to see how this sort of thing turns out. It would also serve me well to see what YouTubers like him are doing to gain such traction. That way I can use any future traction I gain to do ethical stuff as well. I just hope it doesn't involve me streaming Fortnite 24/7 or something. I couldn't handle that. Finally, I saved my favorite story for last. If you guys have been following me for the past few months, you might remember that I did a couple of videos on a video game called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I love the game. It's an absolute work of art. Not only is it a fun game with puzzles and combat, but it's also an important game. The titular character, Senua, suffers with mental illness, specifically psychosis. The whole point of the game is to demonstrate through a mythological lens what it's like to live with mental illness and psychosis. As somebody who suffers with mental illness, I thought that the game was lovingly and carefully crafted to deliver not only a fun but meaningful and thoughtful experience. Ever since I played Hellblade, I was curious to see what the developers over at Ninja Theory would do for their next project. While we'll have to wait a little bit longer to know specifically what they are doing, we now know what type of experience to expect. The Xbox studio battling mental illness with video games and neuroscience. The Insight project is Ninja Theory's ambitious plan to combine neuroscience, biometric sensors, and game design to treat mental illness. What the Insight project intends to do is make games and other interactive experiences that will serve as therapeutic for those who suffer from mental illness and informational for those that don't. They apparently intend to do this by integrating digital feedback from heart rate monitors, eye movement, and respiration. Now, as I read about this project, a million different ideas popped into my head. Can you imagine, let's say a horror game where the game reacts to your physical input? Imagine if you're wearing one of those things you put on your finger to test your heart rate, right? You wear that while playing a game, and depending on your heart rate, the horrors around you grow with intensity and violence. How dope would that be? Not only would it teach people to confront their fears courageously, but it would also have a certain amount of entertainment value. The chief creative developer at Ninja Theory, Tamim Antoniadis, I think that's how you pronounce his name, elaborates on his vision for the project. Quote, "If we can turn it into a mainstream game that people want to play, then it has the potential to reach an audience that goes well beyond that small section of the population that needs and seeks therapy." Mr. Antoniadis, I love this. I love this so damn much. There is so much potential here. You have my full support going forward. I look forward to doing everything I can, promotion or otherwise, to help make sure this project is a success. By the way, if you ever intend to simulate what it's like to live with autism spectrum disorder, feel free to hit me up. I'll talk to you guys for free. Jeez, man, can you imagine if Ninja Theory created a game like PT, but the experience you have is personalized to your heartbeat? Just think about that. How awesome could that potentially be? By the way, thank you, Ninja Theory, for liking my tweet promoting the project. That made my day. Well, that is it for today, everybody. I'm so glad I get to begin November in a positive mood for once. Before I go, I just want to ask you guys kindly to give this video a like if you liked it. If you want to see more positive content like this, make sure to subscribe. Finally, if you wish to support me financially, I recently started a Subscribe campaign filled with various rewards. However, I understand not everybody has the financial means, and that's all good. Above all, the best thing you guys can do to help me is share this video, or any of my other videos that you like. Doing that has helped me enormously in the past. And also, if you need that extra kick in the pants to share this video, think about it this way. Somebody you know might be in a bad place right now. Maybe you actually know somebody who is having a tough time at this very moment. Maybe bring some light to their day by sharing this video with them. The world ain't all bad. Until next time, stay yellow.